touchdowns for the Texans, the second of which, the final pass for Aaron Rodgers tonight, which could potentially be the last pass of his career. Didn't Tom Brady throw a pick-six his last pass? But that was in New England. Of course, he went down to Tampa. That was Kalen Bullock that took that home. And we heard Rodgers on his future. There were also questions about Mike Tomlin and what might be next for him. Here's what he had to say.
How do you approach a decision about your future?
I'm not even in that mindset as I sit here tonight. I'm more in the mindset of what transpired in this stadium and, certainly what we did and didn't do. Not a big picture mentality as I sit here tonight.
I mean, this league has changed a lot in my 21 years. When you hear a conversation about the Mike Tomlins of the world, Matt LaFleur's of the world, those are just two that kind of I've played for. And when I first got in the league, there wouldn't be conversation about whether those guys were on the hot seat, but the way that the league is covered now and the way that there's snap decisions and the validity given to the Twitter experts and all the, experts on TV now who make it seem like they know what the hell they're talking about. To me, that's an absolute joke. And for either of those two guys to be on the hot seat is really apropos of where we're at as a society and a league, because obviously Matt's done a lot of great things in Green Bay and we had a lot of success. Mike T has had more success than damn near anybody in the league, for the last 19, 20 years. And more than that, though, when you have the right guy and the culture is right, you don't think about making a change. But there's a lot of pressure that comes from the outside, and obviously that sways decisions from time to time, but it's not how I would do things and not how the league used to be.
It's about what I would expect from Aaron. A little bit vague about what's next for him, but definitive as it relates to his belief in Mike T. Mike Tomlin is on this graphic alongside Marvin Lewis, though. 7 consecutive playoff losses. Of course, Lewis lost all 7. Mike Tomlin's career includes a Super Bowl victory, but it's been a while here in Pittsburgh since they've enjoyed postseason success, alongside Ryan Clark, who was part of the Steelers' proud tradition. And this is a tough night for this team because they ran into a defense, Ryan, that, as I told the fellas that sat here with me, look, we spent about 2 hours talking about y'all, and then you went out and balled out and played better than even maybe we talked about. I guess the touchscreen is a perfect example of their ability to get home and then make it turn into points.
Well, this is what's funny. It's about Sheldon Rankins. I don't think we mentioned his name.
Maybe not.
In the pregame.
Maybe not.
And now you're going to see with the way that they have it set up, this is to get a one-on-one for Sheldon Rankins. And they also want to get right now, we can't get it to work here. Okay, here we go. It's to get a one-on-one for Sheldon Rankins, and they also want to get a one-on-one for Will Anderson Jr. And what the offensive line is going to have to do is everyone is going to slide this way from the tackle over. From the tackle over, everyone is going to slide to the top right. And then you're going to get Sheldon Rankins going to come here, and he's going to get a one-on-one with the guard. And then Will Allen is going to rush outside, and these two players will meet at the quarterback. Now, if you see it run, watch the way you're going to see Sheldon Rankins bull rush the guard, and then Will Anderson's going to take the edge, and so now you have perfect rush lanes that collapse on Aaron Rodgers. And I just want to show you, this is what a scrum looks like. The ball is somewhere at the bottom of this pile. Normally, the baddest man in the group comes up with this ball, and that's going to be Sheldon Rankins. And as you watch it play, not only does he scoop it, he scores. As Azeez Al-Shire said to you 2 weeks in a row, D linemen have gotten the football and scored touchdowns. They ended the game that way against the Indianapolis Colts, and now Sheldon Rankins gets into the end zone as well.
Big man ball, and that'll make Swag happy. We talked to DeMeco Ryans before the game. How cool was that, by the way?
Oh, it's the single best thing I've been a part of on Monday Night Countdown.
Well, to hear that, because you know that that's not what coaches do, and he was kind enough to grant us that time. And
a road playoff game.
Right, and he was so incredibly calm, and he was so incredibly composed, and afterwards he had these thoughts about the way his defense performed tonight on the road against Pittsburgh to get this 30-6 victory.
It was an outstanding defensive performance, one of the best that I've seen, especially versus a really talented offense, a talented quarterback who's, played at a high level for a long time. So I'm proud of our defensive performance. I think this is the best performance we've had in our team history. So I'm proud of our guys for that, to limit the points, to take the football away, not only just take it away, but to go score. You get 2 defensive touchdowns, that's a big deal. It doesn't happen much, and so I'm proud of our guys. Rankin played an outstanding game. Kalen was able to finish with the interception there at the end, but just overall, we knew we had to tackle well coming into this game. We knew we had to cover one of the better receivers in the league, and DK Metcalf, knew we had to cover him well. Our corners owned up to that challenge, and they did a great job.
Fantastic, and now they go take on Mike Vrabel, who's doing a wonderful job, and the Patriots. Going to be fascinating to see May, just his second playoff start against this defense, and to see C.J. Stroud, who's got to clean some stuff up against a Patriots defense that was nasty last night with 6
when you think about this matchup, it's going to be 2 extremely difficult defenses to contend with, but we watched Drake May operate against the L.A. Chargers in a way we didn't see C.J. Stroud tonight. Coming into this game, I knew how good this defense could be. Maybe not to this level that we saw, but the Patriots defense looked just as good against Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. So who is going to be that difference maker? Who is going to make a play? We don't know if Nico Collins will be healthy next week. And
that's going to be a lot, man. That's a short turnaround.
Exactly. This is a game that's going to be incredibly physical, and one play can change it, just like the Drake May touchdown to Hunter Henry late in that game.
You know my affinity for Mike Tomlin. I got a blind spot for the guy, and I didn't play for him. So I can appreciate how difficult it will be to answer this question. I'm just interested in your perspective on where this franchise and Mike ought to go moving forward.
So I'll say this. In 2011, in February, I'm walking off the field at AT&T. Aaron Rodgers had just beaten us in the Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin has his arm around me. I'm walking off the field, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the best quarterback I've ever played. Tom Brady's the greatest. This is the best coach I've ever played for. Bill Belichick's the greatest. Both of them will be back in this moment again, if not against each other, at another time in their lives. Fast forward 15 years now, we sit here, neither have been back. And they might have played and coached their last game, at least in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, together. That's what this league is. Nothing is promised. And even the greatest have to show up every day and execute. And if this is Coach Tomlin's last game here, it should be his decision. When you look at him tying Marvin Lewis's record for 7 straight playoff losses, that's not the standard. That's not Pittsburgh Steelers football. And if Aaron Rodgers walks away, I'll say this. He's the best quarterback I ever played against. He's the most talented. He was the most confident. And his legacy and what he left this game is really unmatched by many. There's Tom Brady, in my opinion. There's Aaron Rodgers, and there's the guys of old like the Joe Montanas, the Peyton Mannings. He should be proud of what he accomplished. More importantly, proud of who the people here say he was in the building. A great leader, a great teammate, a great mentor, a great quarterback.
As far as Tomlin, I would just echo that sentiment and think that perhaps it's fitting that if it is the end and if it is his choice, that he and Harbaugh were linked so long together, the first and second longest tenured coaches. They met 40-some-odd times, and it's not that you're a lousy coach. It's just that perhaps you benefit and perhaps your franchise benefits from a different direction. John Harbaugh will have a job, whichever one he wants. Mike Tomlin will have a job either here or in football if he is no longer here.
You know, you look at Andy Reid, and the end of his tenure in Philly was a little bit different. But he goes on to Kansas City. He unites with Patrick Mahomes and becomes one of the greatest coaches of all time. When he already was that, he just needed the trophies. And
Philly got a couple themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes it works out well for everybody. Not every time, but it's rare. You would hope that it would. Again, the man hasn't said he's leaving, and Pittsburgh hasn't said they want him to go. Ryan, I appreciate your time and your perspective as always.